Welcome to a special edition of the Referrals podcast. Introducing our new Daily Dose. We've assembled the ultimate crisis response team for your business. Generous leaders from around the globe teaming up to teach, guide, and lead you through this time of isolation and quarantine. Now let's meet your host, Michael J. Maher.
Hey everybody, this is Michael J. Maher with another episode of the Daily Dose, the daily dose of positivity and productivity. Have you ever wondered what you should be doing right now to get business? Have you ever wondered what separates the average producer from the top producer? Have you ever wondered those things? Today, we are going to answer those questions. I cannot wait to bring on today's guest, Michael Hellickson from Club Wealth. It is going to blow you away. But before I do that, I have to do this. I have to do a few announcements. So a couple of announcements. Number one, while you're waiting, in the comments below, do me a favor and write, what are the 4 words of advice that you would give your 18-year-old self? If you were to give your 18-year-old self advice, you could send it back in time, but you could only do it in 4 words. What are the 4 words that you would do? Give that in the comment section, please. Now, also 30 mornings started today. It's not too late to get in. We have 2 seats left in the East Coast. We have 3 seats left in the West Coast. We did make those classes a little larger to accommodate everybody. Go to 30mornings.com, 30mornings, mornings.com, or 30ams.com. Finally, I have to tell you, our May calendar is posted. Are you kidding me with this schedule? Are you kidding me with this schedule? We got Hellickson today. Are you kidding me with even that, right? We got Sean Caligli tomorrow, who is one of Tony Robbins' #1 speakers, and Shooty on Wednesday. 50,000 plus people in her Facebook group. She is running that. She is like the mayor of a large city. James Malinchek, my coach on Thursday. One of my coaches is going to be on Thursday. And we have Don McNaughton on Friday. He is still getting about 10 referrals a week using all of the different things that we've talked about during the Daily Dose. And then we have GoGo next Monday. One of the top social media experts in the world. Gogo Bethke is going to be on next Monday. Are you joking? I mean, that doesn't even include the special guest that will blow your mind that we are going to have on. I have to tell you, I asked all these people that like thought leaders of the universe. And it's like, man, if they say yes, it'd be great. But if they say no, they just say no. One of them said yes. And I'm just saying, that I cannot wait. I will tell you what, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be awesome. Now, also action items. You are to identify 5 people a day. Identify 5 people a day who are positive and energetic out of your world. And some of them you might have met on the Generosity Generation. It's all good. But identify 5 people a day. That gives you 25 a week. You should be up to 150. Is anybody to 150? If you have identified 150, put that in the comments below. Now, you have also should have identified the 150, and then you are going to call or Zoom the 150, a real conversation. You're going to do the VIP form for that 150. You are going to then write them a handwritten note card like this baby right here. And then you are going to invite them to your Facebook group that we have said to do. Now is the time to create your Facebook group. Some of you are like, man, I wish I would have had a Facebook group 10 years ago. Well, guess what? You don't. Now you do. And you're like, maybe I got 25 people in there. Who cares? Now is the time to be inviting people. We formed this group 6 weeks ago, 7 weeks ago. We have 4,000 plus people. That's with like no promotion, no gimmicks, no giveaways. We got to learn from this guy to do that, right? So now the next part of this, I have to tell you, I have to give a huge shout out to Angela Gribbons, right? She has been all over this. Like Angela is the first one to 150. She actually did what we said do on the very first Daily Dose. And she signed up for 30 mornings. She said, I thought I would be able to do it on my own, to get up, to do 30 mornings. But stinking thinking, straight out of Zig Ziglar, right, hit me when I woke up today and I knew only my 30 Mornings East people were the cure. So I signed back up. I'm doing it a second time. See you tomorrow. Meanwhile, here are 2 pink metal flamingos in a sea of pink flowers. I think that those are for Tara Carter in Florida. This is my reminder to all of you to start your watch party. Start your watch party. So go to the share down below. You go up to where it says start watch party. Do not just hit enter, because then you'll be sharing a watch party in the Generosity Generation group. That doesn't do any good. Just share it, or do your watch party on your personal page. Do it in your Facebook group. And remember, all of the things that we cover are from the top thought leaders in the world. So they are applicable whether somebody is 11 or 111. When they say realtor, it really means business person or teenager or whatever it may be. It could work for anyone. So that's my message. That's my announcements. You need to start your watch party. And I'm telling you, you need to start your watch party, because this guy is going to drop some nuggets. This guy is going to drop some wisdom that you're going to want to pick up over and over again. It's going to blow you away. You got to make it happen. You want to know what's ticking. You want to know what's happening out there. This is going to happen. Now, this guy sold real estate for 20 years, listing and selling over 100 homes, ... not per year, not in his career, but per month. Carried over 750 active and pending listings at one point. Just so you know, the average agent has 1 active or pending listing, 1, and does 5 a year. That's 750 active at one time. He began his real estate career in 1991, has been among the top 1% of all agents nationally before he even graduated high school. We're just talking about that a second ago. Michael, I'm telling you what the first question is. I'm telling you right now. It's not even rehearsed. It's not even, but what advice would you give your 18-year-old self? I got to ask you that. So, all right. So at the pinnacle of his sales career, Michael and his team were literally #1 nationwide out of 1 million agents. In addition to posting big numbers in retail and REO, Michael is considered by most to be the #1 short sale expert in the world. During his career, talk about pivoting, like pivoting to short sales. That's a huge deal in the real estate world. During his career, Hellickson has spoken to thousands of agents and organizations nationwide, and has also been featured on several national television and radio programs, including Glenn Beck, CNBC, The Dave Ramsey Show, and the Fox Business Network, among other local and regional programs. He is the founder and president of Club Wealth Coaching and Consulting. Unique in the industry, every Club Wealth coach has sold more real estate than the agents they are coaching. How about that? I love that. The only real estate coaching company that offers a double your income money back guarantee. Club Wealth is the #1 coaching company in the world in the team space. Michael served a 2-year mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Hamburg, Germany. He and his wife, Tara, and their 2 children, Austin and Madison, make their home in Bonnie Lake, Washington, together with their 2 English pointers, Ginger and Ruby. And I will tell you that I had CRTs. I had some people, it's like, wait a second, you're on Hellickson? Don't you guys have competing companies? And it's like, those who really know me, it's like, no, I'm always collaborative. I don't see anything as competitive. I see things as collaborative. We are going to learn a ton from this guy. I am going to learn a ton from this guy today. So I want you to acknowledge and recognize this guy who's coming on today. Let's welcome to the Daily Dose of Positivity and Productivity, Mr. Michael Hellickson. Welcome, brother.
Well, thanks for having me on. Oh my gosh, now I gotta try and find a way to live up to that amazing introduction. I'm like, oh my gosh, how do I do that?
What are you talking about? You lived up to it for whatever, 40 years or however old you are, right? So you have already lived up to it and lived a heck of a lot, life, very successful. But I have to ask you, I mean, I really want to know that. Like, I mean, and it's not the easiest question in the world because of the 4 words thing, right? Yeah. It's like, what advice would you give your 18-year-old self if you only had 4 words?
I gotta tell you, I'm not sure how to break it down into just 4 words. I was thinking about that this whole time. I'm like, how am I going to break this down into just 4 words? And if I had to pick, can I count follow up as one word, like hyphenated?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
If I
100%
can
follow
count,
up. Yeah.
Okay, if I can do that, if I can count follow up as one word, here's oh my gosh, there's so many.
I know.
Man, there's so many ways I want to go with this. If I'm just talking about, and what type of advice are we talking about? Life advice, business advice?
Right.
So if I'm just talking specifically about business advice,
Yeah.
I would say leads, follow up, convert, coach.
I love it.
Leads, follow up, convert, coach. And so I'd say the first three things are the things that should make up 90% of every agent or in any business. So it doesn't matter what business you're in. Every business, you got to have leads. You got to have leads. You got to follow up with them. You got to convert them at a high level, or you're out of business. Like nothing else matters if you don't have leads.
Yeah.
And so that said, then there's the coaching piece, right? And the coaching piece has so many layers. I've always been a believer in, and coaching is more than just mentorship, right? But you've got to have the right coach, and you should have coaches, mentors, people you mastermind with. There's a combination. It shouldn't just be one person giving you advice.
Right.
There needs to be a combination for different things in different ways and for different reasons. So, that's a tough question. There's so much more that I want to throw out to that.
That's what's so great about it, right? I mean, it's like it actually. I mean, and here's the thing: the more of a thought leader and the more of of this person that has just seen a lot of things and achieved a lot of things, that I think it's like harder to make the answer. It's like the first one that jumped to my mind. You're going to love this one. It's listen to your coach. Yeah. Like that's my 4 words. But at 18, I'm going to tell you something right now. I wasn't very good at listening to my coach. You know why? Because I was freaking good. And I really relate this to baseball. You're going to find I love baseball. I link a lot of things to baseball. And it's one of those where it's like, listen to your coach. But I was bullheaded, and I happened to have some success. And sometimes success is the worst thing that can happen to you because you fail to learn. And it's like, you know what? If I would have listened to my coach, it's amazing what might have happened. I don't have any regrets, right? It's just like, man, and I have to tell you, listen to the coach at 18 is really good advice. Listen to your coach at 27 is really good advice. Listen to your coach is really good advice at 33, 37, 40, 43, 50, 55, 65, 77, whatever it may be. So I will tell you that and now I had more time to think about it than you did though. So, but
I like yours. I feel like I'm going to have to steal those now. I totally love them. I think you talk about you learning something today. I think I just learned something today. I love those 4 words. My challenge at 18 years old was I couldn't find the right coach.
Yeah.
I didn't know that and I think everybody watching now is, obviously they're part of Gen, so they're definitely a step ahead. But for me in my local market at 18 years old, I didn't even know coaching was a thing. Yeah. Like I didn't know it existed out there until I was 21. And then as soon as I learned about it, I hired Mike Ferry as my first coach.
There you go.
And then I hired Brian Buffini, and I've had many since then. And man, I got to tell you, I learned something from every one of them. And I hope that I retained a lot of it. But I agree with you. I mean, and look, that's not a couple. I hope everybody watching this, I hope you guys know, that's not a couple of coaches saying that you should get a coach because we want to.
Oh yeah.
That's not what it is.
Yeah.
This is what I told my kids. This is the stuff that our kids are doing. And so we're practicing what we preach. The key is with a great coach, you can shave 5 to 10 years off your learning curve and not make a lot of mistakes that Michael and I have had. I mean, holy cow. I mean, Michael, if you could go back to when you were 18 and know that information, how many mistakes would you have avoided? How much money would you have saved? Because you wouldn't have done stupid things that we all do at that age.
Yeah.
And not actually even just say at that age, all throughout our lives. I'm still doing stupid things today that I wish somebody would tell me, knucklehead, don't do that. Like, it's not going to work.
Yeah. The other one would be go to conferences. Like that's the other one. Like I didn't know at 18 that there were these success conferences. I didn't know until I got into coaching. I coached high school football, basketball, and baseball. And it was like these clinics. It's like, wow, you can go to these clinics to become a better coach. And all these coaches were sharing, their ideas, masterminding. And that's where I really learned that the whole concept of there's a bigger world out there. And then I tapped into the Howard Brinton Star Power, circle. And that was like, that was like stepping into a time machine where you could warp forward 5 years every year. I really believe that. And so, all right, I've got some quick questions for you, like hot seat questions, right? And then we'll get into like what's working in today's market and what's the difference between an average producer and a top producer. So the first thing is what's your birthday, man? You don't have to give me a year, but what's your birthday?
I don't mind giving you a year. I'm an old guy, man. I'm okay with it. January 18th, 1973. Can you believe that? So I'm 47 years old.
Happy birthday. You don't look a day over 27. You're smoking it. It's all good. What's your hometown? Where'd you grow up?
Well, I grew up in the Seattle area, essentially, basically real close to SeaTac Airport there. And yeah, born and raised, lived here my whole life. Well, I spent a couple of years abroad for the church, but other than that, lived here my whole life.
Very good. What high school did you graduate from?
Tyee High School.
How do you spell that?
Tyee. So Tyee is
Tyee. There's no letter in the alphabet between the Y and the E.
No.
It's Tyee.
Tyee. Yeah.
Wow.
I'll tell you, man. It's right. It's one of those high schools where there's been metal detectors for 20 years.
Okay. So, wow.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
So most people would consider you which one of these following four? I'm going to give you four, but you can only pick one.
Okay.
And are you 1, straight to the point, 2, social and outgoing, 3, steady and dependable, or 4, cautious and perfectly accurate? Which would be your number 1?
To the point.
Yeah. And what's your number 2, do you think?
Steady.
Which one? Steady? Yeah. You know what's funny is it's amazing. I would have guessed, this is why we don't guess, is I would have guessed that you were straight to the point and social and outgoing. What's interesting is last week I had Joe LaRosa on, Renee Rodriguez on. I asked these same questions, and I had some preconceived notions of what I thought they might be. And you know what? Several of them were D-S's or 1-3s instead of 1-2s or 2-1s. So it was very interesting to see that. So 2 children, right? Names?
2 children, Austin
and Madison, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they're 18 and 19 years old. They're both getting ready to go on missions now. They'll both, by August, they'll both be headed out to go serve the church for 2 years. So,
all right, birthdays with no year.
March 26th for Maddie, and Austin is, March 26th for Austin. Madison is February 10th. Wow.
It's all good. It's all good. We all, so, and then you got a couple pets, and then what's your favorite color?
Blue.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. And then favorite TV show?
There's so many. I'm a movie and TV guy, man.
So tell me favorite movie. Maybe that'll be even easier. Maybe.
Oh man, no. There's.
What do I need to watch? What do I need to watch? I have to tell you, I didn't watch any movies until the quarantine time. Now I watch one a day at night, very late at night. I'll watch one movie. So
there's all kinds of movies I'm a big fan of, and I'll tell you that one, I think in order to live in America, I think every single person on this planet, if you want to live in America, I think you should have to watch American Sniper and movies like that, like Lone Survivor.
Shooter.
Movies that really tell the story of what really happens out there that people don't realize how crazy it is out there and how fortunate we are to live in America. I would say another movie that really, obviously Top Gun's been one of my favorites for years, but I can't wait for the new one to come out. But one movie that is really one that I've really enjoyed over the last few years that I've watched time and time again that I think is especially appropriate now with all this quarantine stuff going on is A Good Year with Russell Crowe.
Whoa.
What a beautiful movie.
Haven't seen it. I haven't seen it.
Beautifully written and just it's a beautiful movie. I enjoy it. It's kind of like one of those Out of Africa style movies, but just.
Who's the co-actor in that? Do you know who the?
I don't remember. I can't remember her name. But I can tell you that. Who's the guy? I can't remember. Oh my gosh!
It's not Brad Pitt, is it?
No,
is it? Okay.
No.
So,
but it's a great movie, and it's just beautiful.
All right. So everybody in the comments below, what's a movie that Michael should watch? Me, and put in your comments like what movie that I should reserve on Netflix or whatever and watch. So you guys need to tell me and help me out with that. So Michael, do you drink?
Nope.
Like if we were at a bar? Okay.
Don't drink, don't smoke, don't do drugs.
Well, we don't have to reveal too much here.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm not judging anybody who does. I just, for me, I just decided I lack control, self-control. So I figured if I got started on any of that stuff, I'd never stop. So it's good that I never started.
Favorite sport? Do you have a favorite sport?
To watch or to play?
Ooh, play.
To play. I really like soccer. I've really enjoyed soccer as a sport that I think if I could play any sport, it'd probably be that.
Sports team?
I played football a little bit, but that hurt a lot.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy that as much.
Who do you root for?
Seahawks. I mean, doesn't everybody? I mean, come on. Like, I think that's the United States team, right? That's America's team. It's not the Patriots. It's the Seahawks.
Well, it used to be the Cowboys, and we had Cowboys people on last week, and I was just like shaking my head, like, oh man.
Oh, man, I watched them decimate my Hawks in the very first game they played together in that new stadium that Jerry built. Oh my gosh, they destroyed us.
So, what would you get up early to do? Like, what would you get up at like 3 a.m. to go out and do?
Just about anything.
Yeah.
I'm a get up early guy, and I'm not a morning person, but I'm a get up early guy.
Yeah.
So
how about a bucket list? What's on your bucket list that you'd like to achieve next?
That I still haven't done on my bucket list. I'd love to live in Europe for another year with my wife. At least let her spend a year there. I'm not sure I'll be able to get her to do that. I'm working hard on it. Maybe buy a chateau somewhere in Europe. But really, other than that, I'm doing the things I want to do. I get to. So I'm excited about where life is headed and what it's been doing.
So today would be my dad's 82nd birthday. He passed away in 92, so obviously did not make. But he was my first mentor. I've had 3 mentors. It was my dad, it was Howard Brenton, and it was Zig Ziglar, right? And today would be my dad's birthday, and he's a big mentor. Who's a mentor that you've had in your life?
So, first of all, he wasn't one of my mentors, but I loved Howard a lot. Good guy. It was really sad to see what happened to Starkar when he died. He's such a good guy. He built such an amazing organization. Good people, a lot of really good people there. One of my mentors that I would say really had the biggest impact on my life was a guy named Charles Dahlquist, who actually just spoke at Listening Agent Bootcamp here a couple weeks ago.
What's the last name?
Dahlquist, Dahlquist. Good guy, intelligent. He's a big attorney down in Salt Lake City. He was my mission president, was on my mission. He's chaired one of the largest young men's organizations in the world. Also was I want to say he was the chairman of the board. Was it chairman of the board? No, he was the CEO or something like that. He was like the head of the Boy Scouts of America for a long period of time.
Wow.
Just salt the earth kind of guy. Really learned a lot from him. Had a stepfather that was a great inspiration to me at a young age. Taught me the value of hard work. I was already a hard worker, but he really taught me and drove home just how important hard work is. And that was Doyle Neuenswander. And then, obviously the greats, the Zig Ziglars, and I particularly I like Zig. I like Robert Allen. I like Harvey McKay a lot. Harvey McKay is one that I've learned a ton from. What I really like about these guys is that they found a way to share their message in a positive, uplifting way that is professional, right? They're not. They're not. Today it seems like it's the thing to cuss a lot and to be dressed like a slob and to be. I've got my Hard Rock T-shirt on and the Go F You T-shirt on, and it's like, what are we teaching people? Come on, I mean, like these guys did it right, and I really appreciated that they were very successful and they didn't have to do those things.
Yeah, I love that. What was the one thing that you learned from Charles Dahlquist? Like what, like you said with your stepfather, it was hard work, right? What was it with Charles?
There's a lot of things. One of them was the power of forgiveness. He is he understands the innate value of each individual soul, each individual person. He understands how important it is that we not just cast someone aside because they don't meet our definition of what should be, but that we really truly take the time, like Christ did, right? Like, he
Yeah.
leaves the 99 to go find the one.
Yeah.
And I really learned that from Charles. He really, and so many other great lessons, but that was one in particular. And the other thing he taught me was to love the youth, to really care about young people, and to really understand just how important young people are, not just to the future of the country, but the world. I mean, these are people that are smart. Just because they're young doesn't mean they're not intelligent, doesn't mean they don't have great ideas. Yeah, I mean, just really drove that home for me.
I have to tell you, amen on that, because, we're doing the Daily Dose on May 22nd, and we're doing Senior Day. So it's high school seniors, and, that's not our target market. That's not who we talk to a lot and things like that. But you know what? We just felt like I had a lot of people in the generosity generation who happened to have seniors this year. Mandy Thacker, one of our key employees, has a daughter who's a senior, who's a treasure. And it's one of those where, and it's just like, too many people just brush aside the 18-year-old. And it's like, no, this is the future, right? This is they're going to be the ones taking care of us in 20 years. So the other thing too is, they don't have they haven't been jaded by life. They might've been jaded by middle school a little bit, but they haven't been jaded by life yet, So there's everybody's going to tell them life is rough, life is tough. You got to be tough. You got to be, and it's like, I think they need a really powerful message about positivity and productivity, And so anyway, so we're doing that May 22nd. I'm really looking forward to it. We've got some seniors who have lined up to speak, and we're going to do something really special for them on that day. And I can't wait. So
that's awesome.
So let's switch the business, right? So and thank you, by the way, for being a good sport. And honestly, I wanted to learn more about you and know you better. And this has helped a ton. So thank you for that.
Yeah. That's good.
So what's working in today's market, right? You get the opportunity to kind of see what's working from the aspect of hundreds of others. And you've also, dove in and kind of been implementing some things yourself. So what's working?
So we have clients at all ends of the spectrum. Brand new agents on up to, our average client does about 200 transactions a year. So we've got clients that do 600, 1,000, 3,000 transactions a year. And I'll tell you this, that it doesn't matter what level they're at, doesn't matter where they are today. I can tell you that the ones that are having success right now, it comes down to one thing. And that's
wow. Hold it, man. Maybe we should make them wait. Like, what do you, everybody, before he answers in the comments, what is the one thing you think he's about to say? Like, what is the, and I'm going to ask you about something else real quick, and then we're going to come back to it. So.
Yeah, it really does come down to one thing, but go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, I love doing this to them. They hate it, but I love it. But I have to tell you that anytime that's what thought leaders do. And I think this is the thing that people really need to do is identifying what's working should be one of the first skills that everybody learns. It's just like you can keep banging your head against the wall over and over again, or you can look around. My son needs to learn this message, right? With baseball is he learns by doing, but you can learn a lot by watching. When you're in the dugout, you can learn what are the best hitters on your team doing against that pitcher. And then what's the pitcher doing to try to get you out? What's the pitcher doing when people are on base? You can always be watching and learning. And yet, he wants to talk about Fortnite on the bench, so it's like, so guess what? And by the way, we've got people that are saying prospecting, mindset, relationship, motivation, mindset, relationship, mindset. Now they're just copying the other answers. Come on, people. So consistency.
Yeah.
So we got relationships, connecting. We got relationships. We got, come on. You get connection. All right. So here we go. So drum roll, right? So what is working in today's market if we boil it down to one thing?
It's mindset.
Yeah.
There's no question. There is a stark contrast. I mean, stark. And we saw this back in, and Michael, you saw this too, I'm sure. back in 2007 to 2011 when we went through that shift. Back in 2001 with 9/11, we saw it back then.
Yeah.
We saw it when I got in the business in 1991.
90s. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there's two types of people out there. There's people that allow themselves to be controlled by fear, and there's those that say, you know what, I'm gonna find the opportunity in the chaos, no matter what. And you look at even back to the Japanese kanji for or the way that it's the word chaos. Excuse me, the way opportunity.
Crisis.
Dude,
that's right. You know what? I love where you're going with it, brother. I love it.
I just posted this the other day. I'm going to keep talking about this. Anyway, so the word crisis is made up of the word opportunity and chaos, danger and opportunity, right?
Yeah.
So where there's chaos, there's opportunity. Shinzu said, where there's chaos, there's opportunity. And there's both danger and there's opportunity in any crisis. And right now, in what's gone on in the world, there's more opportunity now than we've seen in the last decade. And this last decade has been the best we've seen in terms of economic growth ever in our lifetimes.
Yeah.
And yet there's more opportunity right now than there has been in the last decade for those that are willing to find it. The key is, are they willing to find it?
That's right.
I talked to agents. I'll tell you a good chunk of I would say the vast majority of our clients in the last 60 days have had their best 60 days ever in real estate, at a time when so many agents were hearing the exact opposite.
Are you enjoying the Daily Dose? Want to connect with thousands of other business owners that are winning the referral game while working from home right now? Head over to the Generosity Generation Facebook group. Connect with leaders, visionaries, and business owners from all over the world. Go to www.joingengen.com. That's www.joingengen.com.
I had a conversation with an agent this morning who said, my market is shut down. I can't do anything. The state this, the state that. We can't even write transit. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, great. So what can you do? I'm hearing all these things that you can't do. What can you do right now?
There you go.
Can you pick up the phone? Can you call people you've done business before? Can you call through your sphere? Can you call new opportunities? Fill your pipeline. Can you call agents and see how they're doing and fill your recruiting pipeline? What can you do? And yet, all I kept hearing was what I cannot do. I can't do this. I can't do that. And I'm thinking to myself, man, you're going to be a fatality of this market if you're not careful.
I'll tell you, you hit it on a really powerful part. Is the successful are typically opportunists, right? They're opportunistic. And Todd Duncan in the first week we were doing the Daily Dose just said, be a solutionist, and the first thing I'd like everyone to know is just like this hit everyone, right? I mean, this hit everyone, the everyone from the average to the top producer. Everybody was shocked by what happened. Nobody predicted it. Nobody said it would happen. Nobody could have anticipated that on, March 18th, we would get stay-at-home order or we can always prepare for the lean season, but nobody knew it was going to be like it is. Now, the ones who have truly taken it to the next level, the people who have, stumbled and got up, are exactly what Michael's saying is that they've seen the opportunity. And so often, I love, Michael, what you said, because it's so often people come on and it's all thoughts and concepts, but you narrowed it down to a really good phrase, which is, what can you do? Like, what can you do? You can't do everything, the answer is not to do nothing. You can do something. So what can you do? What is the one thing such that by doing it, everything else becomes easier and or unnecessary, right?
Well, it's interesting because there's been studies done in corporate America consulting, right? Which is, you and I, we consult real estate agents and real estate businesses, which is similar to corporate American consulting. So what they did was they looked at Fortune 500 companies that entered into a crisis and how they handled the crisis. And they found there were three common things that happened that separated the ones that came out on top and were successful at the tail end of the crisis, and those that struggled or even went out of business during those times of crisis. Three simple things. And here's what it was. It was the same three things, Those that were successful doubled down on them. Those that were not successful cut back in these 3 areas.
Wow.
I was floored. Coach Ron Anderson shared this with me. I was blown away when he told me about this. So the first thing was sales, aka so lead generation and actual salespeople, right? So in tight times, corporate America cut back on those folks as a means of saving money. Whereas the people that were successful in corporate America, they doubled down on those things. Coaching and consulting was number 2. So again, this was something that people that struggled cut back on, and people that became more successful during that time doubled down on, because they realized, hey, we got to go outside. We got to see what we're not seeing from the inside. We have to understand where we need to go, what we need to do to get through this. And the third thing was talent.
Wow.
And so specifically on talent, what we're talking about is, hiring the best people. In 2007, when the market started tightening up and everybody's freaking out, what happened was agents like crazy were dumping lead sources. They stopped buying these lead sources because they were fearful of what might happen. Well, I was fortunate because I was taught by another one of my mentors, actually several, Robert Kiyosaki, Dolph DeRoos, and of course, Dave Ramsey, all of whom I learned that you need to live on much. Oh, and George Clausen, of course, from whom we all learned, to live on less than we make, right?
That's right. Live below your means, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Yep.
And so I saved a bunch of money up. And so by the time 2007, 2008 hit, I was sitting in a really good cash position. So as soon as people started dumping those lead sources, what I did, I started buying them up.
Double down, baby.
Absolutely. And as I started grabbing these lead sources, here's what happened. The agents that were on everybody else's teams, what did they do? They no longer had leads from their teams.
Yeah.
They saw the writing on the wall. They're like, okay, if my team leader's getting concerned about these things, where's the team really going? They started backing off and they started leaving the teams. Guess where they went? They came to our team. Then now we had all the agents, which meant all the transactions that were happening, guess what? They were happening on our team, right? So as the other teams were laying off their best administrative assistants, because generally speaking, the highest paid ones were the best ones in a lot of cases. So they're laying these people off. Guess what we were doing?
Bringing them on.
Oh man, we built this team of eagles at a time. And I'm telling you, mark my words, this next 2 years is going to separate the eagles from the turkeys in this industry. Yeah. This next 2 years is going to be such a big gain for people that have doubled down on the things we just talked about. They're going to build the best, the brightest, and the most productive and profitable teams that any of us have seen in the last ever. I mean, literally ever. We've got teams. Back when I was selling, it was a big deal to do the kind of volume. We were number one in the country, and we were the first ones to break 1,000 transactions. And back then, it was a big deal. There are agents today. Last year, I'll bet, and I don't know the exact number, but I'll bet there was at least 20 agents that broke the 1,000 transaction mark last year. There's one this year that's going to break 6,000 transactions this year. I'll bet that in the next 2 years, there's going to be a couple of teams that are going to rise. Somebody's going to break 10,000 transactions as a team.
Yeah.
It's crazy numbers.
Yeah. And it boils down to sales, coaching, and consulting, cutting your learning curve, and talent. And talent acquisition. And there's more talent on the streets right now than there ever has been. And I will tell you, there's a lot of people more interested in becoming a realtor than ever before. They've been working a 9 to 5. They've been teaching, they're frustrated by certain things. And guess what? Now they're a little open-minded with this whole being your own boss thing and working from home. Because they're doing it right now, or they're doing nothing, and they'd like to be doing something, which, real estate is the warning I'm going to give those that are getting into real estate is that once it's in your blood, baby, there's no going back. There's no going back to W-2. There's no going back to the regular job, so to speak. So, so what the difference between the average producer and top producer is really mindset, looking for the opportunities. And it is amazing to me sometimes. It's like we've been doing we've done Facebook posts, we've done these things about referrals, and we help people generate a lot of this stuff. But what's funny is they'll like we had a gal who got 148 referrals in one weekend. And like a month later, I'm saying, all right, so give me an update, on the 148. And she's like, I haven't called any of them. Right. And it's like,
no.
Yeah, true story. Right. But it's one of those where it's like, it was overwhelmed. but B, it's like how do we parse through the stuff to find the opportunity? We've done this thing where we do a Facebook post and people will get literally people interested in selling their home. And then they Facebook message me and go, what do I do next? They said they were interested. It's like, get an appointment. We all need to open our minds up to the opportunities. And you know what? It's going to be scary. You're like, I don't even know what it means to accept an appointment right now, as a listing appointment. For those states that are locked down, stay at home. But you know what? Say yes, get the appointment, and then figure it out. And the truth is the consumers are forgiving. They are like, okay, you stumble through a couple things. You got kids running around in the background of whatever it may be, but it's not going to be ultra polished. It's not going to be perfect. But that's, I think, one of the things that I see out of top producers is that it's progress, not perfection. It's just like, I'm going to figure it out. I'm just going to build my parachute on the way down, which is not always great advice. But it's just like, you know what? Say yes, get it, scare yourself a little bit, and that energy is going to fuel you to the next level,
I completely agree. You talk about these listing appointments. I mean, we're seeing people doing virtual listing appointments now with such high degree of success. It's not even fun. And not only that, it's more efficient, right? Back in the day, I literally was putting 5,000 miles a month on my car driving. My territory was 2.5 hours in any direction. Right. Oh, I mean, I think the amount of effort required and money, right? Gas money, car maintenance, just everything required to do that. Nowadays, man, what a blessing we can do this via Zoom. And people are not only okay with that, they expect it. Oh my gosh, it's a fantastic opportunity. I mean,
totally is.
Oh.
Totally is. We before, if we had heard people doing listing appointments through Zoom, we might have called them like lazy or like, what are you doing or what? Now it's like they're the aggressive ones. They're the ones that are way ahead. The buyer's consultations online, the listing appointments online. This is, I think this is the future. If we're finding out that we can do things this way, then let's do things this way. And the sellers are even making it more enjoyable,
Okay, so you just nailed it. Let's talk about the sellers for a minute. So this is literally one of the things that struck me on this conversation I had this morning. He says, well, our MLS, our association is discouraging us from listing any properties, from doing anything. And even if we could, I'm not allowed to go take pictures. Well, have the seller take the pictures.
There you go.
Have them video the property, right? People get it. People understand it's not professional right now. And you can take photographs, the photographs you can send to Box Brownie, they'll doll them up and they'll look great. And the videos, people get it. And so it's about finding ways that you can instead of excuses why you can't.
Yeah.
There's, again, you guys, I hope everybody's taking this to heart. There's so much opportunity out there right now. And by the way, and Michael, I know I don't even have to ask this. I guarantee you've already told your folks to do this. But how many of you in the last 60 days reached out to every single person in your sphere of influence just to see how they're doing? Like, don't even talk to them about business. Just see how they're doing. If you haven't done that already, why not? Like, they're expecting the call. They would love the call right now. When you make that phone call, the reception is warmer than ever right now. And you'd be amazed how many referrals you get. And by the way, don't ever bring up real estate. You don't have to. Like,
I have to tell you, you hit it on the head, right? The catastrophe call early on is just part of the 7L system. Like when a hailstorm hit Kansas City, you know what? Great opportunity for realtors to call around Kansas City and just say, all right, how's your home come up? You know what? I know a roofer who, is reputable and trustworthy, licensed, and could come out and give you an estimate. You want to get on these roofers before they get bogged down. Do you want me to come out? The other thing is with the whole, stay at home is just simply, you know what? I was just thinking about you and how are you doing? And a lot of you know that yesterday was Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. We said it Friday, but we'll say it again to all the mothers. Happy Mother's Day. And I will tell you, you haven't missed out on that opportunity yet. Straight out of 7L is the holiday text. You should be sending a holiday text to everybody for these holidays. Well, you haven't missed out yet. You could text them today and just say, hey, I thought about you this weekend. I hope you had a happy Mother's weekend. How are you guys doing? That one simple text, I sent 100 out, and I've got at least 60 replies today. I sent them out this morning between 8 and 9 a.m. People that I hadn't talked to in a year or year and a half in some cases. Angie Clotter, I got to give a huge shout out to her. I love her. It's been a while since we've chatted, and guess what? We had a great chat. We caught up, found out her son's a senior in high school and her son's a junior in high school, and they won the state championship in football. I didn't even know that, so it's just like, you know what? I mean, it's like, just do it, just do it. What's the worst thing you can do if you wish somebody a happy Mother's Day weekend, the day after the weekend? It's like, well, I didn't want to bother you this weekend. You can make all the excuses you want, but the fact of the matter is that you thought about them this weekend.
And you reached out.
It's nice. It's just, it's not rocket science. We're so, most of it, like you said, it's mindset. The most expensive and most precious real estate in the world is the 6 inches between your ears. And that's the one we gotta make it worth as much as we can. We need to continually do renovation, and we need to make that the most valuable asset that we have.
Yeah.
So we're starting to see in some states the stay-at-home is being lifted. We're seeing the all clear come about. What should business people and agents be doing as we come out of it?
Well, first of all, understand that a lot of people in this industry are going to be slow to get back into it. They've now, all the good habits they spent all this time building have now gone by the wayside. They've been at home, they've been whatever, and a lot of those habits are now no longer in place.
Yeah.
So that gives you a distinct advantage right there. That said, I don't care what anybody else does. You can succeed in this market or any other if you just choose to succeed. So this is what you have to do. There are 3 things that you have to do every single day, and 90% of your day needs to make up these 3 things. Whether you're working by referral, whether you're working with other lead sources, you have to have, number 1, lead generation in place at a high level. Now, for those of you building teams, that would include recruiting, right? That's part of your lead generation efforts. But lead generation is number 1. Got to spend a good chunk of time every day on lead generation. And again, doesn't matter what the format for that lead generation is, it's got to be in place. Number 2 is lead follow-up. And it's funny because as bad as we as an industry suck at lead generation, we're even worse at lead follow-up.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, think about it. Why does Realtor.com or why do Realtor.com and Zillow even exist? Right? Because we stink at lead generation. So they figured that out. They did it for us, and then they sold these leads to us, and we were happy to pay it. Well, then enter OpCity and Concierge, right? So now they're doing the lead follow-up for us.
Right.
Well, you guys, there's a reason why. It's because as an industry, we suck at it.
Mm-hmm.
So get better. And listen, it sounds cliche, but the truth is the fortune is in the follow-up. So get great, not good, get great at follow-up. And then number 3 is lead conversion. And it's funny to me that even drug dealers are better at lead conversion than real estate agents. Yeah. I mean, how crazy is that, right? I mean, here's an issue, and I've told you before, I don't do drugs. I've never done that stuff. But here's a group of people that are in arguably the dumbest industry in the world, right? Where they can go to jail for doing what they do, and their product kills their clients. And yet they're able to convert at a higher level than real estate agents. Yeah. Why? Because they understand one principle. And here's the principle they understand that every real estate agent on this call, I hope, will learn and implement in their business. You ready for this? First one's free, then you got to pay.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
So often real estate agents are so busy that they're unwilling to show someone a house. Mm-hmm. They're unwilling to just show up your listing unless they're pretty sure you're going to do business with them when they get out there. Come on. Bring value first. We're in a service industry. Serve people. Yeah.
Yeah. I 100% agree with that. That's the other thing too about showing the home is there's a ton of things you learn if they're serious. You get an opportunity to meet them and see them, see who's decision makers are involved. I mean, it's just like, it's safer, it's just a ton of these different things. I love that. The first one's free. The second one has to be bought. Right.
Well, not only that, but you think about worst case scenario, if they can never afford a house, let's say that, because so many agents want to pre-qualify. You don't do it. Look, if they can't afford the house, at the very least, you showed them respect nobody else did. You may have earned a referral partner at that point.
That's right.
You never know who they're going to refer you to.
That's right.
And so just show them respect and take care of them.
Yeah, that's genius. That's awesome. Something I want to acknowledge that is a lesson for everyone out there is and I do have a lot of CRT, certified referral trainers, who are listening and watching as well, is, I hope you notice what Michael did with the answers to these questions. Is he said there's 3, or there's 4, or there's 3, or there's 4. And A, it's easier for him to remember. B, it's easier to deliver. And C, it's easier for us to remember, like what he said. The 3 things that we should all be doing is lead gen, right? Lead follow-up and lead conversion, period. That's pretty easy to remember. And he didn't say, well, I think maybe, this, or this guy over here did this, or this lady was thinking about doing this, or, I had this great idea on the way to work today, No, it was like, boom, here are the 3 truths, What are the 3 areas that businesses doubled down when it came to a crisis? They doubled down on sales, coaching and consulting, and talent. And I truly believe that those 3 areas are key, especially in today's world. And I love that you mentioned about just being opportunistic. And there's sometimes I really think that the opportunity has to be on a 2x4 that hits them in the head sometimes. And it's like, no, we really be always aware, be always looking around. What is the opportunity to get better, to get a client, to get a referral source, And I also love, just like, yeah, you're right. Maybe there's some things that you can't do because of regulation or limitation, but what can you do? And you can always do something that is productive and positive, always. And one thing that everybody did today, you dialed into the daily dose. The daily dose of positivity and productivity. You did your one thing. We always said earlier to make the centerpiece of your day, the masterpiece of your day, and build around the daily dose. So guess what? You've got instant implementation after this. Hopefully you did something before this, like your calls or your 5 people, your 5 handwritten notes, whatever it may be, but just build and habit stack off of the daily dose. And I don't care what you do before. I don't care what you do after. What I do say is, what can you do before? What can you do after? And I love that. And the number one thing that Michael, you delivered today, that everybody, and it's funny, nobody knew the answer. Very few people wrote exactly what you said. And it's mindset. It's mindset. And we control our mindset 100%. And it doesn't take anything big to change our mindset to be positive and energetic. It just simply just takes us deciding to be positive and energetic. That's it. So, Michael, I'll tell you, I took 2 pages of the notes, brother. I appreciate this. I hope this opens up a relationship. Maybe we can do something together down the road, and just know I'm here to help. We are here to help. Whatever I can do on my end. But I just wanted to say thank you for being our guest today on the Daily Dose of Positivity and Productivity.
Man, I can't thank you enough for having me on. Seriously, it's a good thing you're doing here, and I hope people are tuning in regularly, because you guys, seriously, it's you taking the time to invest in yourself every single day, particularly with someone who's bringing you the good stuff that Michael's bringing you, particularly someone who's focused on positivity rather than all the reasons why something won't work. That's what you need. That you need more of that in your life. Stop watching the news. Start watching Michael. Like that's going to get you a lot further. Can I share 2 things before we wrap up? I got 2 quick things I want to share.
Yeah, yes. No,
I'll make them super fast, I promise.
Yeah, no, all good. Yeah.
I had 2 thoughts come to my mind about opportunity that one is Bill Gates was being interviewed by a reporter, and you've probably heard this story before, but as he's being interviewed, the gal says, well, what's the secret of success? Why is it you've been so successful? And he takes out his checkbook and he grabs a check and he hands her a blank check, and he says, I want you to go ahead and I want you to fill your name in on that check, and I want you to fill in any amount you want. Any amount you want. She says, oh, no, I can't do that. He says, no, go ahead. Just fill in any amount you want. She says, oh, no, I couldn't possibly do that. And so he says, okay, all right. And he takes his checkbook back and he says to her, the secret of success is I never miss an opportunity. And the second thing about opportunity,
dude, you sure you don't want to just drop the mic and leave it at that? That's awesome. Right?
Well, and the second thing goes hand in hand with that, and I would say that, and I don't remember who wrote this, and I wish I did, but the quote is that opportunity is missed by most because it comes dressed in overalls and looks a lot like work.
Yeah, Sam Walton.
Is that Walton?
Sam Walton. Yep.
Yeah. Such a great quote.
Yep, that is.
Quote.
Yeah, I love that. The only time success comes before work is in the dictionary. Sam Walton said that as well. So
he was right. Great book, by the way, Made in America. Oh,
yeah,
great.
Yeah, very good. One of the first kind of autobiographies I read. I love that. I love that book, and you can learn a lot from what he developed early on. The systems alone, you know, they didn't succeed because they were a grocery store or because they were a department store or whatever you want to call it. They succeeded because of the systems.
That's right.
You know, that they developed and created. So I love that. The great Bill Gates story. And I was just thinking of him giving me that checkbook and writing in a number. I was thinking, what number would I write if he gave me that checkbook? You know, and it's just like, you know, it's like, I want people to answer that in the comments below. Bill Gates gives you his checkbook and says, you know, write any amount you want, write it to yourself. What would you do? For some of you are like, oh no, you know, hey, we need to be
not me. I got a number.
Yeah, I got a number, right? It's like one of those where it's like, I really want to know, like, what are people's numbers? And it isn't interesting. It's just like, I have to tell you that I'm going to tell you my number. And maybe, it's like, maybe I'm not thinking big enough. It's like, I would have written in, I was going to say 1 million, but I instantly thought of Howard Brinton. And he was always a double it guy, like whatever you're thinking, double it, right? I mean, he literally always said that, like, you're going to make 20 calls, double it, right? You're going to make 10, you're going to write 5 handwritten notes, double it, right? He was just double it. I had that in my head. So I'd write 2 million, which is probably thinking too small, you know, but it's just like, if he did 2 million, I was like, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this 2 million. And then I'm going to give him 4 million back, you know, down the road. It's just like, that's my thought process. What's your number? Yeah. Now that I gave you my number, you can just say, you know what, I was going to do whatever. So,
well, I started off thinking I was going to do 1 billion because I was thinking, well, he's got plenty more than that. So you know, it's not like he'd miss 1 billion. But then I thought, well, maybe at that point he'd want to just give me a lesson instead of the money. So I thought, well, maybe I should just do 100 million, because at 100 million, I can do an awful lot of good at 100 million. I could take that, and it would be very, I don't want to say easy, but it would be pretty simple to really compound that money in ways that would have a meaningful impact. And so, and I don't think for 100 million, for him to give up 100 million is nothing.
It doesn't even matter, right? It doesn't matter. None of it.
He's got way more than that. So yeah, I don't know, but you know, I just thought 1 billion. I figured once you cross that billion mark, I think
where does he say it's okay? Right. That's what, like, with 1 million, that's like 10 cents to him. So right? It's like he could give, I mean, he would give that and give me the lesson. And you're right. I was thinking like 100 million, like, I think we would get a deal where it's like, okay, maybe in this case, I'm not going to give you that check, but here's the lesson I was going to say, right? I mean, there's probably a number where it's not going to happen, you know? Yeah. The most common response was 10 million from the people who are watching the show today, watching the Daily Dose. Huh. They're saying 10 million. And I think that's a really good number. I think he would go, okay. Sure. And then imagine the good that you would do with 10 million. You know, imagine what we could do. We could eradicate different things. We could make a lot of people very, very happy. And if you did it right, you could turn the 10 million into 20 million pretty quickly with relationship, referral building, and that kind of thing, in my opinion. But man, this has been so good, Michael. I appreciate it. I have to tell you, I was a little nervous when we first started, you know, and then it's just like I got more and more comfortable with you over time. And I have to tell you, thank you so much for coming on and delivering so much value, and just really, really appreciate what you did today. So
no, my pleasure. Super cool that you had me on. I appreciate it a lot, and definitely looking forward. We need to talk more, man. You're right. We do need to figure out some times and ways that we can get to know each other at a deeper level. It's just been, seriously, we've both been around way too long not to know each other better. I mean, geez. So we got to figure it out. especially right now, people need the help more than ever right now. Like, and I'm not just talking about coaching. I'm just saying in general, people need to be around more positive people right now. And it's just, there's so much garbage out there right now. Like, we got to tune that stuff out, and we got to surround ourselves with people that are positive and that are headed somewhere, and that really get that. Look, man, if it's to be, it's up to me, man. I can accomplish whatever I set my mind to. I just got to go do it.
Yep. What you think about, you bring about, right?
Yeah,
and,
right.
What you think about and you think about, you bring about, right? And it's just, so man, we could talk forever. That's sometimes the problem with some of these early conversations as we get to know each other. It's just like, man, there's so many war stories and so many great things that we could chat about, but we have come across to our time, and I want to respect everybody's instant implementation time. And I also have to go appear on a show. So I've got to prep for that. I'm going to be on Unblinded today. So that's going to be
Unblinded. What's that?
It's an internet show. And it's kind of like sell me this pen, kind of like a pitch thing, but I'm of course going to come with a different approach. But it's I don't know. We'll see. Tony Robbins has a piece of it, and a couple other guys have a piece of it. And honestly, I literally have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know. So
sounds cool though.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, that's the opportunity, right? I just said yes, and then it's like, all right, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And that's honestly, I guess that's a great, that's a great way to end this is that, that's a strategy that's successful, is get the opportunity and then figure it out when you get there. Get the listing appointment and then figure it out when you get there. Get the buyer and then figure out how to do the buyer's consultation. So, man, this is so good. Michael, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And we'll chat soon.
Sounds great. Thanks, Michael.
Thank you, everybody. Remember, you got to check out the May calendar. It is on the announcements at the very top of the Generosity Generation. The other thing is, man, if you got value out of today, do me a favor, share it. Let somebody else know about what we're doing here. We'd love to get them. If you're listening to this on Referrals Podcast, please subscribe, rate and review when you get a chance. We may read your review on the air. Love to do that. And then last but not least, remember your action items, 5 a day. 5 people that you're going to identify who are positive and energetic. Just identify them. Get them on a whiteboard or an Excel or wherever you keep your information. And we're just going to build this 5 people a day. Build your Facebook group 5 people a day. Build your database 5 people a day. And like Michael said earlier, is we just need to surround ourselves with positive and energetic people. No negative Nellies, no Debbie Downers here. It's only the positive. It's not Pollyanna. It's realistic. It's positive. There's always a silver lining. And Michael, once again, thank you for bringing that out today. I appreciate you.
Thanks, brother.
Thanks, everybody. We will see you on the next episode of The Daily Dose with Sean Callaghy tomorrow, one of Tony Robbins' top-rated speakers in the world. So we will see you tomorrow on The Daily Dose of Positivity and Productivity. Thanks, everybody.